A Black executive perspective now presents Need to Know with the award-winning hyphenated Dr. Nsenga Burton. Dr. Burton, what do we need to know?
Good afternoon and welcome to Need to Know with Dr. Nsenga Burton. I am she. Today I am talking about you needing to know what is available to you in the form of health resources. In case you've been under a rock or just checked out because of all the chaos and foolishness that is happening in the United States or around the globe, you should be aware of the influenza epidemic. It's probably a pandemic. They're probably not calling it that yet. But the flu is going around, to put it mildly, and there are thousands upon thousands of people who have the flu, and it's a very severe form. So, what you need to know is that if you've gotten a flu shot, you have some protection against it, but if you have not, you have no protection against it. And this particular form of the flu shot wasn't made specifically with this particular strain in mind, but this particular strain is very, very dangerous. And we've had a record number of deaths. I think as of yesterday, I haven't checked today, but as of yesterday, it was 29 people that died from the flu. A very high profile Mickey Lee, who is an influencer and also featured on Big Brother, passed away, Black woman, 35 years old, from complications from the flu. So that's been a pretty high profile case. You've seen several cases of children who have died from the flu, pretty high profile cases in terms of how they've been presented on the news and what have you. You've seen them on national news stories as well as local news stories. So what you need to know is that you have to be paying attention because we don't have anybody in charge anymore in these matters. We have somebody at the same time that we are in the midst of this flu, very, very viral flu and very dangerous flu, recommending that we take away vaccinations from kids, 7 vaccinations from kids. We have people dying from this flu in unprecedented numbers. Projections based on what I've seen, the projections, Mr. Miyagi, please be quiet. What you need to know is that the flu is not going anywhere. In fact, it's going to be here for a while, and that you should be taking precautions. So you need to be wearing a mask. I know people have politicized the mask, but masks have been worn for centuries. So if you're going into spaces and you have to be around large numbers of people, even small numbers of people, and you can wear a mask, you should. You should be washing your hands. You should be taking a shower regularly if you have access to water. If not, if you have access to a shower. If you don't, you still need to be washing your hands wherever you can find soap and water, things of that nature. And of course, hand sanitizer and things of that nature. And just being very careful about personal space. And if you have children, I have a kid, you need to remind them, hey, if you have to sneeze into your arm. If you don't feel well, let me know so that I don't send you to school and get the whole school sick, right? If you're not feeling well. So pay attention to your kids and make sure that you get intervention quickly. So let's say that your child has a fever that spikes to 103, 104. Call your doctor. Go get antivirals if you can. This is also for us. There are flu tests. You don't have to wait to find out, like, is this the flu? Is this the cold? Is this COVID? They actually have tests. You can actually get a test and take the test and see if you have the flu. So what you need to know is that there's nobody out here protecting us. And I shouldn't say nobody. There are people who are being held hostage in the CDC who really do care about us, but they are not able to communicate important information to us. There are people being held hostage at the FDA who do care about us, and they're being held hostage. And there are also activists and health advocates that are actually making this information very much available. So it's not actually fair for me to say nobody. That's not true. But those who are in charge and who should be the ones giving us the information and who our tax dollars pay to put in these positions and to keep in these positions and to disseminate this information are not doing it. So you're going to have to pay attention. I know we don't want to really be watching the news. I keep hearing that. I'm a media person. I watch the news all day, every day. Not all day, but enough to know what's going on. You have to watch the news. You need to know what's happening in your community because they are going to talk about this because it's going to give them good ratings. If nothing else, they also care about your well-being, I hope. But if not that, they're going to get good ratings around this. So there will be information. If it hasn't come to your local news, it's coming. If you haven't been watching a national news program, make sure that you do. And make sure that you do watch a national news program that has legitimate health professionals on it, not people who just make up stuff for a living. So that's all I'm going to say. Use your own discernment. So tune in next week. I hope that you stay safe. I hope that you stay well. And please do not play with this strain of the flu. It is deadly. People are getting sicker than ever. The average time for people to get over this flu is 2 weeks. So you're looking at missing 2 weeks out of work, or 2 weeks out of school, or 2 weeks out of whatever it is that you're doing that is important to you. I will also encourage you to not go around the elderly, to not go around babies or children if you do not feel well. And parents, as a parent, if you have a kid that is sick, keep your child at home. Keep your child at home. If you are sick and your kid is sick, both of you stay home. Stay home. All right. Because the numbers are just bad. Hospitals have closed for lots of reasons that had to do with the 45th administration. Now we're in the 47th administration. All those hospital closings that people were like, oh, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. They're having to turn away people in major cities because they don't have enough room in the hospitals. These flus are requiring hospitalizations. So you really want to try the best that you can to not get sick. And if you are sick, to not pass it on to anybody else, particularly vulnerable populations. And especially since they're rolling back so many different vaccines, we don't really know what other people are dealing with or what might literally take them out. So tune in next week. Check in with Tony and Chris. Of course, they have wonderful things to say. And make sure that you wash your hands. You practice great safety measures, including personal safety, personal space, and wear a mask. I don't care. It's not political. It's about health. Wear a mask if you have to be around large numbers of people or even small numbers of people who may be sick, and get tested so that you know what you have and you can get your interventions, your medical interventions, talk to your doctor, and find out what you need to do in order to shorten the period and to make sure you survive this flu. All right, I will see you next Thursday. Bye.
A Black Executive Perspective.